Hello, my name is AwesomeAsBlue, and welcome to episode 8 of Skyblock Randomizer. You've seen the title, you know what we're getting into today, and this, oh my goodness, this is gonna be a lot. But before we get into anything, we have to expand our island. And I think I'm gonna expand this way today, otherwise we're gonna have a long strip of island and it's gonna be painful to keep running around. Anyway, y'all know the drill, let's get right into it. Well, that did not go as planned. Okay, and it is done. I'm getting super excited for the rest of this video, but this is actually where it gets a little tricky. You see, some of the farms require materials we don't have yet, while others require a lot of materials we'll have to collect later on. So before I can start the timer, I want to gather as many materials as I can. And yes, because I only have one Minecraft day per farm, I'm waiting to start the timer until we begin building. So let's gather some materials. Towards the end of my material gathering, I started searching for a fortress in order to build the Blaze and Witherskull farms. But after hours of searching and a little bit of personal research, I was given very sad information. Fortresses don't actually spawn in this world type. Now, I could go into the specifics for it, but basically because structures don't spawn naturally in the overworld, they don't spawn in the other dimensions either, or at least not in the nether. But hey, that's a problem for me in the future. Next, we need to go to the nether roof for a few of our farms later on. Now, I've never actually done this before legitimately, so this is gonna be a little interesting. I have this staircase in the wall from earlier while I was exploring that goes up to the platform above us. From there, all I have to do is find a good spot to dig up to bedrock. Let's see how far I am away from the portal below. Okay, not too bad. This looks like a good spot. Alright, now that I've made it up here, I need to try and find the best spot to get up. There's a certain set of coordinates I'm supposed to have, and I think this is the right spot. Okay, I have to look about here, and I did it! Oh my goodness! Okay, wait, I need to mark where I just came up at. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, then I should need to build the portal over here, or at least I think so. Before I go through this portal, I'm gonna break the bedrock just in case something happens. I don't want to have to try and go through all that again. I've never actually done this without cheating before, so let's give it a shot, I guess. Oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. Okay, so all I have to do is be holding the pistons, flick the lever, and then spam click over here, and it should break the bedrock underneath somehow. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a shot. Flip, and spam click. This is the one. I feel it. Okay, this is looking promising. Let's go! It took a few tries, but I think I finally got it. Turns out I was just being dumb because I had my shield in my offhand. And now to go back to the overworld and use the new portal for the first time. Let's hope it works. Are you kidding me again? I hate the nether. It's okay. With the power of editing, you guys can skip right past it. And we now have a working nether portal to the nether roof. Unfortunately, I did die to the void twice though, meaning I lost all of my tools and armor. But that's okay. It should be a fairly easy fix. I mean, I have tons of netherite anyways. But now we move on to the end, and I get to face the Ender Dragon. So let's go ahead and build that end portal. I actually haven't fought the dragon in a very long time, so I'm a little excited actually. Although I just know my inventory is going to get clogged super fast. Let's go ahead and place in these Eyes of Enders. Okay, I am very nervous, but I think we can do it. Okay, I'm liking the spawn, but we do still have to be careful of Enderman because I didn't bring a jack-o'-lantern. But first things first, let's knock out these crystals. I actually feel like I'm pretty good with the bow, so this should be easy. Oh my goodness, what? Oh, I forgot how much that hurts. Oh my goodness, just this one pillar. It's giving me so much trouble. Oh, you're kidding. You know what? It's okay. We get right back up again. All the pillars are done, or at least I think. So now we get to actually hit the dragon. All right, here we go. She's perching. Okay. We got this. We're doing good. Whoop. I hate having to look down. Is it perching? It's perching. I'm doing so poorly. Let's see if I can get some hits. Ah! Come on. Let's go! That was such a clean clutch too. All right. Yes! Let's go! We have officially conquered the end. And that means it's time to get started on our farms. Now, before I start the timer, I need to be honest. I'm not actually building 100 farms. You see, I couldn't find 100 farms that would work in this Minecraft world type. Now, don't get me wrong, there are probably over 100 farms to build in a regular Minecraft world, but here, the biome is the Void, which is only available through the custom world menu, so right away, any kind of biome-based farms are out of the question. And anything else that requires some kind of regular generation has never even been in the conversation. And on top of that, something like a shulker farm or disc farm is never going to get used since I already have multiple chests full of them. And so there's not really much I can do. So with all that being said, this is actually 56 farms in 56 Minecraft days, but I'm pulling a Mr. Beast because 100 just sounds better. So yes, to some degree, I did in fact clickbait you, but you're still watching, so it obviously worked. But it's projects like this that make me wish I knew more about redstone, because this is gonna be pretty rough. So without further ado, let's get building our farms. We're starting on day 547 by redesigning a few farms we already have, specifically the sugarcane and bamboo farms, then swiftly moving on to expanding our lava and dripstone farms. Next, I went on to making a kelp farm, and I may or may not have forgotten to record the first part. Spoiler warning, I do this a lot. Like for instance when building my cactus farm, where I learned I desperately need to make a sand duper. But instead I made a wool farm, which somehow took me a whole 2 in-game days because I kept messing up and the sheep were being really difficult. That took way too long. Starting off on day 553 is a snow farm. It's quick and simple and will hopefully give us back some time. Next we move on to a custom amethyst farm, which is actually one of my favorites. But I'm finding that a spawner-based cow farm might just be better since I keep dying this episode and running out of food. Oh, and I can't forget about the slime farm since I will really need some slime soon. The only issue is slime spawn in certain chunks below level 40, and our island sits at level 50. So we are ever so carefully going to build down to level 30 to give us enough space to build the slime farm. But now we move on to an automatic cobble farm, mostly because I'm running out of blocks, and time for that matter. But let's quickly make a stone generator, and in the spirit of gathering more resources, it's time to build a clay and mud farm. They're actually combined to save space and resources. layers. And if needed, I can always build more layers on top of this for even more resources. Now let's do some really simple farms. Here we have a tall flower farm with a vine farm on the other side, a fishing machine to AFK at, and a much better chicken farm than what I have now. Also, an automatic bee farm to maximize honeycomb and honey production, a cocoa bean farm, honestly, I don't know what this one does, a sweet berry farm that uses foxes to collect the berries once they ripen, and a super simple glowberry farm to collect them in the background, as well as a chorus fruit farm with water to clear and reset them, and a melon and pumpkin farm. Oh, and a sniffer farm to top it all off. But oh no, that's not all! It's time we move on to the end farms, which would be an enderman farm for a ridiculous amount of XP, and as many ender pearls as I could ever want, as well as a wither rose farm that traps the wither in the bedrock of the portal. At exactly the halfway point, both in time and farms, we now move on to the nether farms. These would be a custom wither skull farm that uses a spawner since we don't have a fortress, a piglin bartering station to trade gold, and a blaze spawner with the potential to expand because why not? Next we move to the nether roof to build a gold farm since we don't have a consistent source of it yet, followed by a froglet farm. Now I actually didn't know this, but the 3 different frogs also spawn in the 3 different dimensions. Next we have a gas farm because everyone has them. I genuinely don't know what gas tiers are used for. Next we have a magma cream farm, so we can have access to brewing potions later on. Finishing off the nether, we have a hoglin farm for another source of food and leather. And now we have the most time-consuming farms, or really the farms I just keep putting off. Starting us off, we have a netherwort farm that clears with water, a mushroom block farm that's not really a farm at all, and a wheat, potato, carrot, and beetroot farm using villagers to gather it all for me. An automatic flower farm, which may not even give us flowers due to the biome, and an automatic moss farm for decorational blocks. And just because moss is amazing, it was at this point when I severely began to run out of materials. Things were getting even more difficult, and I was really beginning to run out of time. I only had about 15 days left and still needed to build 12 farms, 2 of which being our most difficult so far, but I pressed on after taking a pretty lengthy break gathering materials. I finally built a tree farm that allows me to farm literally any tree I want, as well as a basalt generator to help with gathering blocks. Following these, I began on the spawners. First we have a guardian farm where I can get prismarine, a creeper spawner for gunpowder, I'm not sure why I need this, but I'm sure I'll find out later, a spider spawner since that's my one consistent source for string, and a zombie spawner mixed with a skulk farm to hopefully create some cool effects in the future, a witch spawner to get a large assortment of items including potions and redstone, a copper farm because, well, that one's obvious, and to top it all off, a wandering trader spawner, so I can have better access to some items you can't easily farm, such as lily pads, sea pickles, coral blocks, and dyes. Sitting at day 605, we now only have our 2 final farms left, a gravity block duper and a raid farm. These are by far the most complex farms in this list, and the 2 I have been absolutely dreading since the start. Now, I did mess up the placement of the end portal earlier because in that moment I completely forgot about the duper, but the good news is that's quite an easy fix, especially after building the slime farm. So all we have to do is build down a little bit, and now we can carefully make our gravity block duper, allowing us to duplicate blocks such as sand, gravel, anvils, dragon eggs, concrete powder, and more, which actually wasn't as complicated as I thought it would be. But now I have to build one of the most tedious Minecraft farms ever, a raid farm. I have never built one of these before. Heck, I've never even used one before. This was definitely a challenge, but fortunately I didn't have to wrangle villagers because I just used spawn eggs. I'm using the raid farm design by ENX04, and actually all the farms I have used that aren't custom will be linked in the playlist down below. But let me know in the comments if you guys would like tutorials on the custom farms that I built. They really aren't too complex, to be honest. I know the farms aren't super good looking right now, and that's mostly because I'm lacking a lot of resources that would typically make it easier to decorate these farms. Plus the randomizer part of the series keeps clogging my inventory. And we have now completed our raid farm, meaning we have officially built all 56 farms. Not on our original schedule, unfortunately, but I think we still did it in 56 days. But I now have just about every farm I could ever need. I definitely would do this very differently if I were to do it again, but I am very excited to make this all look pretty in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and leave a comment down below with any suggestions you have for future videos. And make sure to subscribe so I can keep making content like this. Thank you again so much for watching. Goodbye!